This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit temptationstreats.com to learn more.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
If you're here and you're a foot away and the dog is here, that's the purpose of a fence. That's why the law deems that what owners of dogs have to do is contain their dog. Because how's a dog going to go like this, come over, bite you a foot away from the fence, and then come back and land again inside the yard?
These are the plaintiffs, Jimmy LaSalle Duncan and Veronica Williams. Jimmy says the defendant's pit bull jumped up and bit him in the face, under his nose, by his lip and chin. He had to go to the emergency room where he got 8 stitches. He has a permanent scar and is suing the irresponsible, uncaring defendant for $5,000 for medical bills and pain and suffering. This is the defendant, Donna Bird. She says the plaintiff came to her property, disregarded the beware of dog sign, and leaned over the fence to pet the dog. The dog jumped up and caught the kid's face, but he didn't bite because if he had, he would have ripped his face off. She doesn't owe the plaintiffs anything because they didn't heed the warning signs and leaned over the fence for some reason. She is accused of having a mean old dog.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Jimmy LaSalle Duncan and Veronica Williams, you're suing Donna Bird and Nathaniel Bird. You have power of attorney for Nathaniel?
Yes, I did.
Okay. For $5,000 in pain and suffering and medical bills because according to you, their dog attacked you. All right. Let me hear from you.
On June 13th, me and my dad were driving, and we went to the defendant's house just to visit them. And
how did you know them?
They were our old former neighbors.
Okay.
And my dad went in the fence first to knock on the door. I went to follow him.
Okay, so there's a fence.
Yes.
All right, you're on the sidewalk.
Yes.
Okay, and?
He went in and was
Okay.
going to knock on the door. I tried to follow him.
Okay.
And I seen the dog was barking at me. He didn't bark at my dad, but he was barking at me really, really aggressively. And I
Okay.
tried to back up, and before I could
Are you inside of the fenced area at the time?
No.
I need you to stop shaking your head. I'm asking him the story. Were you there? You weren't even there, right?
I came
I know, but you
outside
came
of
out
that.
at the commotion, so please stop. Okay. So your dad opens a pedestrian
Yes.
gate. Your dad walks through the pedestrian gate.
Yes.
You are approaching it,
Yes.
but you're not on the property.
I'm on the sidewalk.
Sidewalk still, because you haven't gotten to the pedestrian gate.
Yes.
So your dad is how far in front of you?
I say about 5 steps, 6 steps.
Wait, so he left you on the outside?
I was gonna go to the gate, but I seen the dog was barking at me.
Oh, so you decided to stay on the outside?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So your dad latches
Yes.
the thing, and what happens?
And I see the dog is barking aggressively, and my first instinct is to back up. And before I could back up all the way, the dog jumped up and bit me in my face.
Okay. Did the dog know your dad? Like, is your dad there a lot?
Yeah.
Are you not there a lot? Or did you know the dog too?
I didn't know the dog.
Okay. So the dog wasn't there when you were living there?
No.
Okay. So tell me exactly where you're standing when the dog bites you.
Like the fence is here, Like the fence is here, like I'm right here.
Well, what's right here? A foot away from the fence, 2 feet away from the fence? Bring me a chair.
I have a picture, Judge, if you'd like to see of the house.
Yeah,
and the
but
fence.
I'm going to need him to describe it
Okay.
for me a little bit better.
All right.
Okay, so have the chair face that way so that we have a straight edge. And then I need you to come around. And let's just say, pretend it's not a chair. You're on the other side of the fence. Pretend it's a straight line. Okay, so that's the fence. We're going to say that that's the fence. Okay, is it higher than that or lower?
A little bit higher, like right around here.
It's that high? Let me come down there. Okay, you're going to describe to me how the attack happened right now. Right here is the fence that you're in front of. So your father is 5 paces in front of you, and you're still standing here. And then does he knock on the door before the bite or after the bite?
He was just now knocking on the door, and the
Okay.
dog jumped up.
And the dog jumped up, and if you're here and the dog is here, how did the dog jump up from a gate that's this tall to bite you? Were you leaning in?
No.
Okay, if you're not leaning in and you're 1.5 feet away from the fence and the fence is this high and this dog is here, what kind of dog is it?
It's a pit bull.
Of course. And this dog is here and it jumps. How does the dog jump, go this way, bite you and come back? Were you leaning in?
No, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and go back. You didn't actually see what happened, right? You hear a
No,
commotion.
I came. They called the dog pound, and this is what they told the dog pound.
What they told the dog pound, I would
This
like to
is
see
what
that. Can I
they-
see that, please, Douglas? All right, but tell me what you understood to have happened out there when you come out.
I had all my grandkids outside. My husband was out there with them. When I ran out the door, Gino, his dad, my husband was at the fence on this, and they said he leaned in the gate and the dog nipped him right there.
Where does it say what happened? Oh,
On the
here we go.
dog, you see it on the side where they made notations on the dog pound paper?
This says lunged and bit, and then it says PD went into something gate and dog went
That's
into-
what I was talking about.
Yeah,
that
read it to
section.
me because I don't know what it's saying in there.
The way I understood it, went into and over said gate, and dog jumped up and bit person.
And over. Okay, let me see if I see that in there.
The way he even said, I said, "Why'd you lean in the gate?
Right.
Lean over the gate." He said, "I don't know."
Did
'Cause I
she
ran
ask
over
you
the-
that day, why did you lean in?
No.
And his mother wasn't there. His dad was there, and then they left and came back with the police. And the
Yeah,
dog
why
pound.
isn't Dad here?
Because him and Nathaniel are friends, and he didn't want to get involved with it. He
Well,
felt
maybe he's not here because he would say, yeah, my son leaned in. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know
No.
why he's not here. Your husband,
Is terminally ill.
I'm very sorry, and he's in hospice?
Yes, they already called hospice in.
Right, I'm very sorry. All right, let's talk about a couple things. First of all, why are you suing?
I'm his mother, and I was involved. Afterwards, I was the one that sent the demand letter.
Okay, that's
and
great,
all
but
the
that doesn't
part-
give you a standing to sue, so you're dismissed from the lawsuit
Okay.
right away. He's an adult. I mean, if you know. So, but I'm so stuck on the question I asked you before I started to ask her questions, which is, I don't know how this could possibly happen unless you leaned in. Because if you're here and you're 1 foot away and the dog is here, that's the purpose of a fence. That's why the law deems that what owners of dogs have to do is contain their dog. Because how's a dog going to go like this, come over, bite you 1 foot away from the fence, and then come back and land again inside the yard? It defies physics. I think you had to have leaned in.
I didn't lean in.
My 12-year-old son saw it also, and he wrote a witness statement in his own words.
In his own words, the 12-year-old? Okay,
Yeah.
let me see the 12-year-old's own words.
Yeah, it's in his own words.
Was it after or before you sent her the demand letter? Let me see.
Before. And I also have the animal control report.
When what I saw happen was my brother walking and he did not go over in the fence. That's like the first thing the 12-year-old says. Okay, that's not how a 12-year-old speaks. A 12-year-old says, oh, the dog bit him, and you know. All right. Now, you guys called animal control the same day?
The hospital did. They have to do it automatically.
Right. And what happened with animal control? Actually, I was going to ask her, what happened with animal
What do you
control?
mean about the bite? Nothing, because he was contained.
Did you have a beware of dog sign on your...
Yes, ma'am.
And according to you, they didn't?
No.
Did you put one up after?
No, we had them up. They've been up there. That's
Where
why-
are they up?
on the post at my front porch.
Do you have your picture that you took of the house?
I gave it to Douglas already.
Oh, they're in your picture.
It says no trespassing.
So I assume you've taken a magnifying glass that says no
It
trespassing?
says no trespassing.
So if they were able to take pictures after the event that did not have beware of dog signs, and you take these, I kind of think you put these up to claim that they were there all the time just because you're getting sued.
No, we had some. You see, the other one was kind of raggedy, and we added some to it, but we already had signs up.
Well, you have
The
one
police
sign
seen
up in
them.
the picture they took when they have a reason to take a picture, and let's see what that sign says.
And it don't say no trespassing, I guarantee it.
It doesn't say beware of dogs, it says no trespassing.
I don't have no signs that says no trespassing.
I can't tell what it says, but it certainly didn't look like this, which is what you're representing. You're lying about that. But, you know, I just can't get away from the fact that I'm having trouble seeing how the dog does this depth-defying thing that you've described. How can that dog come across, bite you a foot away from the fence, and then come back if you're where you, as you described it? Let me give Mom a crack at it. How do you figure that could happen,
From
Mom?
what I was told, because I was not there, Jimmy was standing at the fence. The dog was barking and running towards them. Because my youngest one said he backed up real quick because he was coming up and saw it. Before Jimmy could back up, the dog jumped up and bit
And did
him.
what? Okay,
And bit
let's
him.
say Jimmy's at the fence. The dog jumps up and does what, though? I mean, how does everybody have a chance to move away and walk away other than him? How is it that it's only him? I think it's because he thought the dog wasn't a threat. And that's the kind of person who leans in because they think that, you know, let me just pet him and he'll be fine. You know, I don't know what he's thinking. It's a dog. The Pitbull is not doing anything wrong. Pitbull's doing what Pitbulls are supposed to do, okay, which is protect their people, all right? That's why you get the dog. You don't get the dog for them to prance around in a little tutu and, you know, and be adorable, doing adorable little pet tricks. That's not the kind of, people don't get a Pitbull for that reason. So I think that what he thought was that the dog was a friendly dog and it would be fine, and that's when you lean in and give the dog a chance to do what the dog was created by God to do, which is protect their owners. How is it that they've got to pay you $5,000 for that?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if this is the line, the property line, and there's a fence and it says beware a dog, and I'm walking along and your dog jumps up and bites me, are you responsible to me for my injuries?
Unfortunately, I am. It's my dog, but just because I post a sign, the dog can't read it.
But I'm pretty close to the fence.
I still think that I would be.
You're responsible.
I would be responsible.
What do you think?
Yeah, you'd be responsible.
Because?
Because it's your dog, and you should be responsible for its actions.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
That lady contained the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
So the dog is behind the fence. I don't buy this beware of dog. I am confident those signs weren't there, but signs are there or not there. You are standing there right at the gate. The father knows, maybe you should stay out there. Closes the gate, closes the pedestrian gate, has time to turn around, has time to walk to the front door, and is about to knock on the front door, and Jimmy's still there and peering over, because that's the only way that it could happen. The dog can't jump up to where Jimmy says he was and then jump back. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you.
So you heard the judge's ruling. Come on over here. This is the young man who got bitten, unfortunately, and now you lose your case, too. What do you think of this? What's going through your mind here?
I don't really know right now.
Take us back to that moment for a second and tell us what it was like.
After the dog bit me, it hurt. And I had to get stitches. And stitches do not feel well.
No. Well, you handled it. You know, you're pretty tough about it. You think you should have exercised a little bit more caution around there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm sure you will next time. Head around this way. All right, come on out here and...
How you doing?
What do you think happened?
I'm glad.
What
I
do you-
won.
Yeah.
That's what I knew was going to happen.
You wouldn't want to be him, would you?
No, I wouldn't have leaned over the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you know, the rule is that if you walk into a known danger, if you know that something is really dangerous and you get hurt, then it's going to be tough luck. Otherwise, you should get your money. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue. Subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
This is the plaintiff, Larissa. She says she purchased some beds for herself and her kids from the defendant's store. And when they were delivered, they weren't the ones she ordered. She complained to the delivery guys who refused to take the beds back. She's lost faith in the defendant and wants her $4,000 returned. This is the defendant, Alex Lasker. He says the beds that were delivered to the plaintiff were not the right ones, and he apologized for the mix-up. He told her the beds she originally ordered were delayed at the factory and told her she could wait or he could give her different ones instead. All the plaintiff kept saying was she wanted a refund, but he doesn't give cash refunds. So here we are. He's accused of bunking up a bed order.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff bought some beds for her and her kids and says they weren't what she ordered, but she can't get her money back. Now, the defendant says he was going to make good, but she was unreasonable. It's the case of you're bad in bed.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Larissa, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing Sleep Mart Incorporated, represented here by Alex Lasker, the owner, and for $4,000 that you want returned to you in furniture that you purchased because, according to you, the stuff is too big or different from what you ordered. Okay, yes. Talk to me.
That day, I went to buy the two beds, separate beds for my kid.
For twin beds?
Kids. Yeah, two kids. And another bed, which when I chose it, that he didn't have a good beds, and he gave me from the computer. I saw the picture in the computer, and I chose it that bed. And when they bring it in the house, the Spanish guy said, "Don't come in the room. We need to set up. Don't bother us. We're gonna be doing our job." I said, "Okay," and they set up everything. I see two beds for the kids is not the same
Not
bed.
the beds you ordered.
Not the beds he ordered.
So you, in your room, you notice that the two twin beds, the beds that they put in are not the beds you ordered. And then what about your furniture did you notice?
My furniture also, when I saw it's high, this much high, and I have to put the stool and I have to go in the bed.
Meaning it's a high bed?
High
but what did you think you were buying?
I didn't know it's gonna be. It's in the computer.
Right, but in the computer they have dimensions and they have heights and they have all that. Did you check all that to see if it would fit in your room?
You know, he showed to me. He said to me, "Nice bed, nice." I see it's, in the picture is good, but I cannot read and write. I'm sorry.
But before you selected the furniture, did you measure it to make sure it would fit in the room?
It is fits.
Okay, so what's the issue?
The issue is it's high. And the drawer is not opening and closing. If it's closing...
Okay, do you have a video?
Yes.
Okay, let me see the video.
I have pictures. Thank you.
I'd like you to come over here. We haven't even met yet, but come over here because that way I don't have to play it again. Hold on.
There's a whole crack, and when we got it, there's scratches over here. And then when it starts from here, it comes a big crack, like over here. It doesn't close.
I think what she means is that that part doesn't close. One side closes and the other doesn't.
Here, it doesn't really work. And over here, the bed is blocking the other. Yeah, the mattress is covering the other closet closet, and also, like, it's hard for us to jump, so we always use this chair to get up, and we sleep on a bed and go down.
You just have the mattress on the wooden thing?
Yeah. This is closet.
It opens good, but when you close it, there's a huge crack over here, and then over here, it starts closing, and then it starts opening a big crack right here, the whole part. And also over here, goes straight, and then there's a big hole.
How old's your daughter?
She's 11.
She's going to be a lawyer.
Here,
You heard it here first.
Thank you.
And it's very hard to open the closets and close them.
I think she means the drawers.
Still empty.
Still,
It's high, and I cannot go. I have to put it in the chair. I have to go up on this. When I have to jump.
I think we got it. All right, so go ahead and go back. I'm sorry. All right, so I presume that as soon as you walk in and you see how high it is and that the two twin beds are wrong, you say something immediately. The drawers you don't even realize until you start opening them, but everything else is obvious to you. So do you say something to them?
Yes.
And what did they say?
They said our job is to bring it, to set up, and that's it. We have to leave. And he said to me, he pointed the papers, sign it here. I said, no, I don't gonna sign.
Oh, so you didn't sign?
No, I did sign because he didn't want to leave it from the house.
Well, I mean, then you call the police and you make them leave. But what did you sign?
I don't know. I was scared. I was scared because he was screaming at me, and he was saying to me, I have to sign.
Okay, and so you signed that it was delivered or that everything was perfect? What did you sign? What did she sign? Let me see
She did sign the paper that was delivered in good condition.
That it was delivered in good condition.
But
why didn't you just write, yeah, I'll sign it, and then write everything that was wrong? These are not the beds I ordered, this is too high.
I told him the closet is not go, but one closet is not open.
Drawers, not closet.
Drawers.
Okay, it's all right, yeah.
My mom she's illiterate. I mean, like.
Your mom is what?
She doesn't know how to, she doesn't really know how to read or understand what she's reading. So that's why I
Then don't sign things.
Right.
Because otherwise then people are gonna say that, you know, you signed it and you changed your mind, but. All right, let me hand the floor over to you. First of all, she says that the two twin beds are not the beds she ordered. Talk to me about that.
It was not the bed she ordered.
So that's correct.
Absolutely. Numerous times I was trying to get in touch, let her know that her beds are not available. Couldn't get in touch. I even sent her from my phone. She did not answer to me.
Okay.
But since I was put on a time frame to delivery, we needed to deliver in exactly on March 18, 2015. I saw that she needs the bed for the bed. So I took the liberty to deliver those beds myself.
With the understanding that she could reject them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the beds come, they're not the ones she orders, she contacts you. When did she contact you?
Actually, a few days after the delivery, I received a message that lady calls in crying and asking to return the whole furniture back.
Okay.
That was one of the biggest issue, the communication.
Meaning that you would try to reach her and you couldn't?
Reach her, couldn't, left the messages.
Do you have phone records to show that?
I don't. That's the only thing, we don't record the phone records.
Okay. What were you going to say had you reached her? Let's pretend you reached her. What would you say?
Yes, I reached her to confirm that the beds can be exchanged. As soon as we will receive the new beds,
right,
we will exchange the beds that she has. No any cost
what,
to her.
Okay. What communication did you have with them from March until today, which is many, many months? What did you do to try to resolve this?
I spoke with them, and he said he cannot return it the big bed, and two beds he can exchange it.
He can or he can't?
He can exchange it.
So you say you did speak with him directly?
I did speak with him.
Is there another Alex?
No, it's only me. I don't.
Okay, so you spoke with him and he told you, I can't do anything about the big bed, but what did he tell you? I can't.
He said, I cannot do it, nothing.
About the big bed?
Big bed,
Okay.
about the furniture.
Okay.
What you want, two bed.
The twins?
The twins bed, but he will exchange it.
Okay.
I said, I need another bed also.
Okay.
I cannot use it. I fell twice.
Okay.
I fell twice in my stomach. When I
How tall are you?
I don't know. 5'2".
How tall are you? 5'2"? Okay.
And I fell in my stomach twice. Once I was bleeding.
Okay.
And it's ridiculous. I cannot sleep
So what
no
happened
more.
after that? When you told him that, what did he say?
He said I cannot do it, nothing in the
Okay.
contract.
Now let's talk about,
let
let me see the contract she signed.
This one.
Did you open and close the drawers to see if they worked when you...
Yes, same moment.
And
Same,
did they work?
No.
Why would you sign something that says that it was in good condition?
I'm very sorry. I'm not educated at all. I didn't go to school.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
Do you
I'm
read
so
in your
sorry.
language?
No.
So if the contract says no refunds, but what's delivered is defective, can you get your money back?
Absolutely, absolutely. You should stand behind your product. So if you deliver something to someone and it's not what you say you were going to give them, you should absolutely.
Yeah, but if I'm the merchant, I'm going to say, hey, I said I'd give you another bed. I'll give you another bed, but I'm not giving you your money back. It says no refund.
No, I think there's other avenues you can go down. Customer service is there for a reason.
Yeah, but I don't want to do customer service. I don't want to give you money back. Do I have to?
I think you should, yeah.
I know you think I should, but do I have to?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends.
See, I stumped him. Going inside the courtroom.
Let me talk to you about this. Are you the one who actually sold her the furniture?
Yes.
Okay. She's 5'2". Okay. And yes, I think that someone who buys furniture should know what she's doing and get the dimensions and measure it off. Apparently, she doesn't mind the room being crowded with furniture. What she minds is that she could put her elbow on her bed. She's 5'2". Did you ever discuss with her that the picture she's looking at might be a little tall for her?
Yes. And matter of fact, she was the one who brought me the picture and said, can you get me this bed?
What do you mean that she brought you the
She
picture?
had a piece of paper, a picture that she brought it into the store. Said, I would like to have this bed.
Yeah.
Do you have the picture that you brought there?
No, I don't have.
Do you have the picture that she brought there?
I don't have the picture that she brought me, but I have the picture.
Okay, she's saying, I don't want a bed that I have to climb a ladder to. She doesn't like that bed.
I don't want to deal with this
now I
anymore.
understand. Normally I look at them and say, tough, don't buy the bed. She bought it off the internet, you sold it to her, she's 5'2".
I understand
And the
that.
bed is covering the drawer. The mattress you sold her.
Absolutely.
You saw the video, right?
Absolutely.
Because a picture tells 1,000 words. That mattress is too tall, drawer can't open. This stuff is not working. What are you going to do for this woman?
But I did ask her 2 times to come to the store and let's work this. Let's see how it could be done. Maybe we can change the mattress. It could be fixed.
I didn't
Or
believe
if
it.
we cannot
Here's the
fix,
thing, let
we
me tell
can
you something.
replace it.
Your side usually wins in these cases because I think that if people are buying furniture off the internet, they need to be extra careful measuring stuff. Okay? But your side's not going to win in this one because you sent her 2 beds she didn't order, and this bed has a million problems with it, including that the mattress covers a thing. So you don't have a right to say, no, you have to now take a smaller mattress because I sold you 2 things that didn't work together. That's not happening. I'm ordering you to return the money, $4,000 verdict for the plaintiff. We'll make arrangements now for you to go ahead and pick up all of the furniture. Explain to your mother what just happened.
Oh.
Thank you.
The defendant just learned that he can't just send the plaintiff anything other than what she agreed to buy.
Well, yes, but I disagree with this. And I think clients also have to take responsibility for their action. When they make the purchase, they have to understand what they're purchasing.
Well, she has certain responsibilities that she learned about in the courtroom. And what did you learn about your responsibilities in the courtroom?
I learned that I have to be thinking ahead of what clients think, and
you have to send them what they ordered.
But we did send them what they ordered.
Yeah, well, in this case, not good enough. All right, Follow Officer McIntosh here. All right, come on in here. Congratulations. You won.
Thank you, finally.
Yeah, how will you feel?
I feel good. I feel good because it's treating people like that is not good like that.
You think he tried to take advantage of her?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, because I said to him, I'm the single mother, and I don't have the, money like this, and he took advantage.
Congratulations. Harvey?
Thank you so much.
Okay, word to the wise. Before you accept delivery of anything, thoroughly inspect it. Once the delivery guy walks out the door, you are in a pickle. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Anika Warner. She says she purchased a car from the defendant. She had it for 2 weeks, stepped on the brakes, and they failed. And she caused a 5-car pileup. She's lucky to be alive. The defendant sold her an unsafe car she almost killed herself in. And she demands a full refund in the amount of $2,600. This is the defendant, Ellie. He says he finds it impossible to believe the cause of the accident was due to the brakes going out on a car he sold the plaintiff 2 weeks prior. He tried to help this woman out on multiple occasions, but her taking him to court today is the last straw, and he's done trying to be a nice guy. He's accused of breaking into court.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff bought a car from the defendant, says the brakes failed, and it caused a 5-car pileup. But the defendant says she is lying about the brakes. It's the case of what a pileup.
Anika Warner, you are suing Ellie? You're going to be referred to only as Ellie?
Ellie, correct.
Ellie. Representing an auto group whose name you also don't want used. Okay, and your role with them is what, salesman?
Right.
Okay. For $2,600 that you want repaid to you for a car that you say is a lemon and expenses related to its purchase.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay, so on March 30th of 2015, I purchased a 2002 Honda Accord from him.
Okay.
He said everything was fine with it.
And that car overheated?
That car overheated.
And you only had it how many days?
5 days.
5 days?
Yes.
All right, then what happened?
Okay, so he said that, okay, I'm going to fix the car. He hired his mechanic that he had. He said, oh, the mechanic, he just messed up the car. He can't fix it anymore. So I said, okay, so if he can't fix it anymore, what are we going to do about my car? He said that either he was going to find me a new car or he was going to find or reimburse me my money.
Okay.
He found the Dodge Intrepid, the 03 Dodge Intrepid on April 21st. That's when I had possession of the vehicle.
How long were you without a car between the Honda and the Intrepid?
For a month.
A month, okay.
Yes, and I also was in school at that time, and I also let him know that I was in school and that this was my transportation. So after he gave me the Dodge Intrepid, I noticed that the brake light's on. He said, oh, no problem, I have my mechanic fix the brake light.
Which one, the same mechanic?
No. So then he find this other mechanic. He couldn't even use a cell phone to get and reach in contact with the mechanic because the mechanic doesn't have a cell phone.
In the alley.
Yeah, in the alley. So then after he said, oh, the mechanic, he fixed the brakes and everything.
Okay, so he represents to you that that's been done.
Mm-hmm. And then when I came to go to pick the car up, the brake light was off.
Okay.
9 days after, on the 29th, I got into the car accident.
What happened?
I have pictures to show you what the car accident.
In those 9 days, did you drive the car?
Yes.
And was it driving fine?
No, actually, and I called Ellie. I said, Ellie, the car is not starting. He said, oh, you have to, with the car, you have to turn the nozzle 5 times to start the car. I said, you have to turn the car 5 times to start a car? So then I said, well, it might be the battery. So I went to go purchase a battery, which cost me $130 to fix the battery. So then he said, oh, no, then it wasn't the battery after I put the battery in. I said, Ellie, it's not the battery now? No, it's the starter. So now he wants to go, he fixed the starter.
Wait, you gave him the car back and he fixed the starter?
The starter, yes. Because he said...
Are these sales as is or aren't they?
As is, correct.
Why are you taking the cars back all the time and fixing them?
Just trying to help out the clients.
Do you own the place or do you work there?
No, I work for the company.
So that's the company's policy?
No, it's not their policy. Being that she's a student, she told me that she has a problem with the car. Instead of not helping her out, I told her, I bring the car back, we take it to the
Let me see the paperwork from the sale of both cars, the Honda and the other one. So go on.
So after all of that happened, after I got into my car accident, which was on the 30th, I went over to the shop.
How did the car accident happen?
Because it was actually a chain reaction involving 4 cars. As one car pressed on their brakes, my car is not stopping. So which that allowed me to hit one car, for that car to hit another car, for that car to hit another car.
Do you have any evidence from a mechanic that your brakes failed?
No, I do not.
How do I know you didn't just have a car accident?
The mechanic, no, I do not have. The mechanic did tell me that it was the brakes because he...
Well, then you could have had something that said that. If the mechanic looks at it and can tell it's the brakes, why don't you have that in writing? That's your whole case. Just prove what you're saying.
I mean, I have proof. He said he's going to end in audio video saying that he will willingly give me my $2,200 back.
Okay.
This is the letter that he signed stating that he would, if he hasn't found it on the 30th after I got into my car accident, that he was going to reimburse me the $2,200.
Okay, I want you to hand that over to Douglas, and then I want you to play the recorder. And this is after your car accident?
Yes.
If I had the money with me, if I didn't spend all this money, if I had the money with me the other day when she comes here, when you come here and there was a problem, I would be like, yeah. No problem?
Like, what you're saying, if you didn't spend all that money, you go, if you had the money on you right now, however much, you got no problem, give back the money.
Did you see her after the car accident? Did she come to you and say the brakes failed?
Yes, she did.
Okay, and did you ever say to her that you would be refunding her money?
So she doesn't bring anything in from a mechanic. She says, trust me, my brakes failed.
I think it's her fault. There's a reason why mechanics give out receipts so that, you can always bring it back to them if something's wrong.
Do you think her brakes failed or she just didn't hit the brakes?
I think her brakes really fails.
Really?
Yes.
I'm stunned. I'm just stunned going inside the courtroom.
What I told her is this, I go to the auction like 2 or 3 times a week, look for cars. I tell her, listen, you could come with me. Her mother was with her. You could come with me, your mother, go to the auction, pick out a car, I'll get it, I pick out 1 or 2 cars, and I'll buy the cars, and you could pick one of the 2 cars.
I'm just not following.
It's more like an exchange, not selling, because I'm taking the...
Right, but her premise is that it's the auto group's fault that she had a car accident because when she's picking up the Intrepid, she notices that the brake light's on. So when she notices that, she says, I brought that to his attention, and he said he would have his mechanic look at it, and he did. That mechanic, did he have any paperwork about what he did to fix whatever was causing the brake light to be on?
Well, there was no brake problem with the car. That's what the mechanic told me. What happened is when I took the car to him for him to check it out, the emergency brake wasn't really all the way
in.
When he released it all the way in, the light turns off.
Do you have that in writing?
No, I don't. But after the mechanic checked the car, I called her, said everything was okay. She came in with her mother. They took the car on the test drive.
I know they took the car and they test drive it, and it worked for 9 days. I got all that.
For 9 days, I did not hear from her until she went into
Until she had a car accident.
So,
right. Ms. Warner, you're suing based on the fact that the brakes had a problem. I had an accident, ergo, it's the fault of the faulty brake job. But you gotta have evidence of that when you come into court.
But even when I have written agreement stating that he's going to reimburse me on the 30th after the car accident that I had, I still won't get my $2,200 that I paid for the car.
I will try to get you a car. In the event that I can't find a car, I will refund the money of $2,200. How are you obligating them? Did you sign this?
I did. I signed it.
Okay. When somebody's coming to you and saying the brakes failed, that's because you guys didn't do a good job on the brakes. And then you say, okay, if I can't find you a car, I'll return your $2,200. It's no longer sounding like she's just returning the car. It's sounding like you may feel responsible for the brakes failing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, I understand.
Yeah. So you find 2 cars, and what happens? She doesn't want either of them?
She called a couple of times. She never told me whether or not she's going to take one of the 2 cars. Next time I heard from her was a letter to the court saying that I'm being sued.
Did you ever go see 2 cars that you liked?
Your Honor, he never said that he got the vehicle. And then he just stated that saying that I didn't reach out to him. I have several text messages calling him, seeing what we're going to do with arrangement, no response back. Then when I went back to the shop where I purchased the vehicle, the shop is no longer there. Is
the shop no longer there?
The shop is no longer there.
Where is it? Somewhere else?
It was my personal barber shop, and I closed it down.
It was a barber shop. Is that the shop you're talking about? A barber shop?
Yeah.
But he also sells...
Are you complaining about an alley mechanic and you bought a series of used cars from a barber shop?
But he also, from out his garage, he has several cars that he had for sale in the back. There's also a parking lot.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss of the barber shop?
No.
I'm trying to find out what...
I guess that is what okay, you're the boss of the barber shop.
Correct.
But the auto group is the boss of the auto group.
Right.
And you were making money on the side.
Actually transport the car to the location to sell it. The car was
transported. Right, so that's your side job when you're not cutting people's hair.
Actually, I'm not even a barber. I'm just an investor.
You are what?
I'm an investor. I'm not a barber.
Investor in the shop.
Right.
Okay. All right. There's a couple of interesting legal issues that this case presents, okay? First of all, if you and I have a dispute and I promise you that I'm going to pay you back, it's not an enforceable contract that somebody promises to pay you back. But sometimes it could be evidence of guilt, like that they think that maybe they did something wrong. This little piece of paper is so peculiar to me. I'm not so sure that that company ever agreed to any of this. I think he's the kind of guy who just feels so bad that he wants to keep a customer happy. And I think that that's more indicative of what this is than some kind of evidence that the brakes were faulty. I think the best evidence of whether those brakes were faulty is apparently uniquely in your hands. You claim under oath to me that you have a mechanic who says that the brakes failed. All you had to do was bring me that in writing from the mechanic. You have come into court claiming that the brakes failed. All I'm asking for, I'm not an unreasonable woman. All I want is proof. And you've come to court with no proof of it, even though, according to you, you have proof of it because I just take my word for it, Judge. There's a mechanic out there who said that. My verdict in this case, we're done, is for the defendant.
Okay, come on over here. All right, you come out of the courtroom, you had every chance to prove what you were saying, but you just couldn't prove it.
He's a crookster. That's what that man is. He's a crookster. He gets over on people. And
This man right here, this defendant.
Right here, I wouldn't recommend nobody purchasing nothing from me. He's a crookster. He disappears on people. I have several text messages stating that I did this.
What about him looking in the courtroom like he's trying to do everything he can?
He's saying that he's a good person. He's not a good person. So with that being said,
well, why didn't you get that mechanic to write down that the brakes were no good? Why didn't you get the? All right. All right, so come on in here. What are you, the good guy, or what she says you are?
I'm the good guy.
Yeah?
Yes, I tried to help out to make sure that she was able to have a car to drive to school. When she come and complain, and I could have said, you know what, I don't want to help you, but I wanted to just go the extra step to keep a customer happy.
And so, you know the saying, nice guys finish
last.
Bobby?
You know what, Kurt? This is such an example of just a self-serving statement when somebody says my brakes failed. Of course they're going to say my brakes failed because otherwise they're negligent, they're going to lose. That's why you need to have an expert in a situation like this to back up what your claim is. Without an expert, it is self-serving and it is worth literally nothing.